What's going on, guys? It's Modern, back with the next match of the top cut from, I believe it's the second Premier Challenge that I've posted so far. I'm just going to start doing these regardless of whether my internet's doing bad or not. If you don't know, the reason I'm doing this right now is because I have had really bad internet, and so Road to the Top's been sort of hard to record because I'm either DCing from matches or it just takes a long time to find them, and it's not really fun to try and edit out all those things because it takes just that much more time to go and do those things. So I'm really just trying my best just to get out videos consistently right now. But yeah, this is going to be the second match of the top cut. I'm playing against the Arizona player named Bryan. If you don't know, I played him in the very first Premier Challenge in the entire United States of the VGC 16 season. He actually beat me in that Premier Challenge, but to my surprise, I was able to conquer him in this one. So yeah, we're just going to go over this match. If you want to go and see what our full teams are, I do have those in the description. I just don't want to waste time going over what each of our teams are. And, yeah, that's for a different time. If you guys are interested in knowing those, any specific details, then I can actually provide those if you want. So straight away, I knew when you go and look at the first match, Talonflame pretty much did nothing for Bryan. So I figured he'd probably switch up his lead and go for Thunderous and either Mawile or Palkia. Obviously, Palkia helps to check my Groudon just a tiny little bit. Thunderous, still just a very, very versatile lead. And obviously for his team, one of the better checks to my Yveltal. And they also, I was assuming, probably didn't want to lead Mawile against a potential Groudon again. So I knew straight away if I could just lead Yveltal in something else, I'd be in a good position. I decided to go with Salamence just in case if they just somehow maybe read that I wouldn't bring Groudon as a lead. Maybe Mawile, then I would be able to intimidate them, and then my Yveltal would be able to survive. But straight off the bat, again, I'm put into a really, really great position. Since they did not bring the Tailwind mode this match, they're probably going for the Trick Room mode, so I knew for this first turn, like, 99.999% sure that Thunderous would just go for either a Thunderbolt or maybe the Hidden Power Ice onto my Salamence if they did have that. So I just go straight for a Double Edge into Palkia as well as a Snarl. Again, just want to get damage off on one of their Pokemon, and then Snarl just to punish any potential switches. And obviously, lowering Palkia's special attack is really, really nice for my team. Obviously, like I said, my Yveltal is Assault Vest, so his Pokemon really can't deal that much damage to it. So again, just further showing how hard of a matchup it is for Bryan for this match. They do end up protecting Palkia, surprisingly enough, so maybe he was just trying to see if I did carry the Draco Meteor on my set, which is obviously a really, really nice play. Now for this next turn, I really was not expecting Bryan to go for this play. I honestly expected them to switch into Mawile and then Thunder Wave my Salamence or Yveltal. Just because if I did have the Draco Meteor, or maybe if I just went for Double Edge again, it would just get so much free damage off onto Palkia. So I figured they'd probably just switch out into Mawile to play it super safe right now. And then obviously Thunderous with Thunder Wave would be able to pay dividends later because they'd be able to outspeed my Pokemon. But surprisingly to me, they actually switch the Thunderous out to Mawile and then go for the Trick Room. So Snarl is going to connect with both of these Pokemon, but like I said, I protect with my Salamence, maybe predicting a Thunder Wave or something, so this was actually a really, really bad turn for me. I'm honestly not sure how I won the match from here. I think okay, yeah, no, I remember how I do, but I'll talk about that when we get there. So yeah, he will set up the Trick Room right here. Obviously putting off a lot of offensive pressure with Mawile threatening both of my Pokemon, and then obviously Palkia threatening my Salamence with a potential Spatial Rend. So I know just straight away, I'm conserving Yveltal 100%. I know he probably has the Kyogre in the back still, and then obviously Thunderous in the back is a little bit of a threat, but Yveltal checks those pretty well. But I was actually really, really fine with my Salamence going down right here. They do go for a Play Rough, which is pretty much what to be expected, and then obviously Spatial Rend right here. At -1, still able to pick up the knockout just because Palkia is so strong by itself, as well as the attack being super effective. So obviously free switch in for me, really, really good. Groudon comes in again, and Groudon gets off some work, let me tell you that. Now, before I tell you guys about what I go for this turn, because my play is actually really, really bad, um, what I should have gone for this turn is just gone for a Gravity and a Precipice Blades. Just because Yveltal was -1, it really was not threatening my Groudon. And then Gravity would also mean that I would 100% hit his Pokemon, so it really wouldn't matter what I went for. Precipice Blades would instantly knock out his Mawile, easily be able to 2-hit KO his Palkia, and then obviously Thundurus would not be a safe switch-in. Now, me being the genius that I am, decides that it's a good idea to skill swap the Mawile, because I thought getting rid of the huge power would mean that they couldn't maybe like crit my Groudon or anything. But this turns out to be very, very bad, because what it comes down to is their Mawile and Palkia both attack into Cresselia. Luckily I do survive, but it means that I cannot go for the Gravity next turn, and I just gave their Mawile Levitate. So this is really, really, really bad. But luckily for me, you're going to see in the next turn. Luckily for me, I talked to Bryan about the match after, but as you can see, my Cresselia and his Mawile speed tie at 84 speed. And for me, I win the 50-50 and I get the Gravity off. And this is probably the sole reason I win this match right here. I played super, super poorly. And then Bryan predicted me very, very, very well, but I was able to survive their attacks, and then I was also able to win the speed tie right here. And this just single-handedly wins me the game, because obviously Kyogre can't safely switch in right now, Thundurus can't safely switch in, Earth Power comes out, but like I said, -1, not going to do very much. And then yeah, Yveltal's just able to come out, and then now it really comes down to if their Kyogre as Origin Pulse or the Water Spout. But obviously, as we saw in the first match, they did actually have the Water Spout, so I knew at this point, if they went for a Scald, maybe they'd be in a good position, KO my Groudon or something, but we already know I'm slower, and Trick Room and Gravity are up. I can't miss. So really, I guess what Bryan had to bank on right here is that they could KO my Groudon, I think, as well as my Yveltal. That's also really big. I actually go for the Precipice Blades and Sucker Punch right here. I figured that Bryan would probably go for the Water Spout. A slightly greedy play on his side, just because if I did have the Sucker Punch or something, then obviously I would be able to knock him into a range where Water Spout can't KO my Pokemon. And, wait for it to happen, Water Spout comes out. Groudon survives with 15 HP, and this pretty much means the match is over. Obviously, Kyogre is in range of a Snarl, Palkia is in range of pretty much everything. Even if they set up Trick Room, I still have the Sucker Punch, and really they just had to rely on me not carrying the Snarl, but obviously my set does. Able to pick up the knockout, and this match is over. So, like I said in the first episode, or I guess the first match, my team has a really, really good matchup against his. Just because both of his Pokemon are special attackers and they can't hit my Yveltal super effectively, or at least, I guess in Ice Beam's case, it's not going to do very much damage, especially not after a Snarl. And Mawile just really, really weak to the Groudon. And yeah, I was able to pick up the match right here. So, obviously, like I said, in my favor, I ended up winning both matches too, pretty dominantly too. Luckily for me, I got a bit lucky in that second match, though, speed tying the Mawile and getting off that Gravity. Obviously ended up, in my opinion, single-handedly winning me the game, just because it could KO the Thundurus. But it really didn't matter at that point. I think I could just follow up with like a Rock Slide or something, and they would just have to hax me out with Thunder Wave. But as usual, guys, thanks for coming around and watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please go and leave a like, and if you want to keep up with my videos, as well as some of the other things I do, like streams and etc., please go and subscribe and go check out my social media. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.